1985, for the 1985 Bears, Mike Ditka was the best possible coach that you could have for that group of guys. No social media, Wildcats 24 hours a day, great players. You had to have a relatable, accomplished football player and coach being able to look into the eyes and talk to all those guys. Mike Ditka was the best coach for 1985. Ben Johnson's the best football coach the Bears have ever had. So,
whoa, wow. So wait, you're saying after 9 games?
We're getting some woes.
You
got to listen to what I'm saying.
No, I totally heard it. Like, for the time, Ditka was the greatest. But you believe now, for today's game, that he is going to be or is the greatest coach the Bears have ever had?
Yep. For free agency, for offensive input, for quarterback development, for the seriousness in his approach inside the team meeting room, how it resonates to offense, defense, special teams. He's put together a group of great assistant coaches. So for this era of football, I think Ben Johnson's the best coach. For the 80s, Mike Ditka was the best coach for 1985, and he was the best guy to run that group of guys.
I had heard the stories. I want to know if you're surprised by this. But I'd heard the stories when we were doing the work on Ben Johnson that we wanted him. And then, we don't want another nerdy offensive coordinator, just a guy who's got a playbook and it worked in Detroit with Dan Campbell as the culture setter. People are like, no, you don't understand what Ben Johnson is like behind the scenes. He holds his guys accountable. He doesn't suffer fools. He's very intense. So are you surprised he's made this big of an impact with the culture already? Or were you hearing the same thing?
I was hearing the same thing, but I'm not surprised. I'm also super encouraged about where Caleb's going to go, because if you just had an offensive whiz kid that was coaching for a defensive coordinator, that guy's going to be on the list for everybody's next head coaching candidate. And then you're going to bring in a new system. Then you're going to bring in that new offensive coordinator. And that vicious cycle's not going to change. Ben's not going anywhere. Caleb isn't going anywhere. Now these guys we're fortunate as Bears fans to be at the perfect intersection of head coach and quarterback. And now this is what we've all been hoping for from the times in our life where we've seen a long tenured career of Brett Favre, of Aaron Rodgers, of Ben Roethlisberger, of the other guys, Phillip Rivers, even though he didn't have Super Bowl success. There's other guys out there that are super fortunate to have a guy like Ben.
I think you're right on so many levels, but here's where I can't fully get there, I guess, and I think you're with me, Silva. We've talked about this before. It's like it's a three-headed monster. There's Ben, there's Caleb, and there's Poles. And that the Poles aspect, and listen, I'm trying to live in the moment. We're 6-3. Things are going well, but I can't get that Poles aspect out of my head.
Well, the one thing I would think, because Ben Johnson has so many grade A qualifications, I do think that he's going to have input in the style of player per position before the draft, and then it's going to be a collaborative effort. It's not going to be and I'm just saying this is what I'm thinking, because what I've seen out of Ben, he understands exactly what he wants. Al Harris is an ex-player. Antoine Randall L is an ex-player. Dan Rochar is a hell of an offensive line coach. They have good defensive coaches over there. So, the collaborative effort with the scouting department and, the scouts for Ryan Poles, they are tireless, man. They are traveling. They are working. They are doing everything they possibly can to do their presentation. But I just think that that's another aspect of Ben that will be introduced to when he gets a chance to be part of his first draft.
And I see that from an offensive perspective. Like, clearly Loveland and Burden, he had some intel on. But at some point, the other side of the ball, we're going to need to identify some guys. We're going to need to get some pass rushers.
The Adengbo signing, it does not look good right now. He got hurt. Yeah. We already have C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a defensive back, with 3 sacks to Adengbo's 1. I know what you're saying. We talked a lot about it yesterday, about the credit the Poles should get, because he did hire Ben. And I like the way the organization is going better, too. And I've always yelled, it starts at the top. And the way that they allowed Warren and Poles to seek out the best coach and pay him whatever it takes to get here was a great sign and something that probably would not have happened in the past.
Totally.
Let's go to Elmhurst. Steve, you're on ESPN 1000. Say hi to Eddie and, of course, Tom Thayer.
Good afternoon, guys. One of the things that I thought at the beginning of the season was that the Bears were probably going to struggle early because you had 3 new interior offensive linemen, and then on top of that, it turns out a 4th new offensive lineman who, playing tackle, and it's like you can't expect them to gel instantaneously. Usually it takes maybe half a season for that to happen, if it happens. And on top of that, you got a quarterback learning an all-new offense. The fact that they're 6-3 is incredible, and I think there's every reason to have hope that it can continue this with the success, because now at this point, the offensive line has gelled, and they're playing much better than they were the first couple weeks of the season. And on top of that, Caleb has a better grasp of the offense. He's playing better. I think there's every reason to believe, even though the schedule is tougher coming up, that they will be able to compete with these better teams and succeed. What do you think?
To me, the one thing about the offensive line, what I'm most encouraged about is Darnell Wright is playing the best of all these guys. He's playing a more physical brand of football. He's more versatile. He's able to lead sweeps. When you look at the outside zone blocking, he's been super physical on the inside. He's been able to hold down one-on-one blocking assignments and pass protection. And I think Theo Benedet's got a tremendous upside. He's a good athlete. He's determined. He's encouraged. He's being coached hard. And those other guys inside are playing. They're playing the way exactly why they were brought here. Joe Tooney is a great settling torch for the development of Theo Benedet. Drew Dahlman last week against Dexter Lawrence probably played the best game he has against the best competition he was going to face up until that point. When you look at a guy that's 6'3", 340 pounds, and you got to be able to have one-on-one isolation blocks, or you got to have some creative designs up front where they brought Joe Tooney down and Dahlman folded up around him. So, yeah, I'm encouraged by what I've seen out of the offensive line up to this point, because I was so frustrated by them in the first couple weeks of the season.
The Dahlman interview that you guys had yesterday on Bears Weekly is outstanding. Like, I've always heard, he's sort of a quiet guy, but he's very thoughtful in his answers. Like, he's like super bright, isn't he? Like, what does he have, an engineering degree or something?
Engineering degree, yeah.
Like, it was terrific yesterday. So if anyone didn't hear that, it was Bears Weekly yesterday. Check that out on the ESPN Chicago YouTube page. Let's go to David in Evanston. David, you're on ESPN 1000. What's on your mind?
I was just, how you doing, fellas? How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic. Oh, it's David. Sorry, David.
Yeah. No, it happens all the time. Don't worry about it. It happens all the time. It means the same thing. It means the same thing.
We got to call you by your right name here. That's the way we do it.
Did he call yesterday?
Did you call yesterday, David?
Yeah,
you did?
I did.
Yeah.
I was on the other show, though. I was on Capping the Hood.
Yep.
The Capping Hood.
So you're famous. Even Tom Thayer knows who you are.
Hey, I'm trying to get there, man. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to be like you guys. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be like you guys.
Very cool.
But yeah, I just want to say that, I think the Bears are a good team, man, because, they're top 10 in scoring, top 10 in rushing, and good teams know how to win. You know what I mean? Good teams know how to win. And it's tough to win in the NFL. It's tough to win in any football, but the NFL especially. So, and I kind of want to ask there, how hard is it to be an NFL player, but just let alone also win in the NFL too?
It's an everyday job. 365 days a year. You got to enjoy being in the weight room as much as you are on the game field, and you got to have that same attitude, character, enthusiasm on the practice field. And all those types of things, they kind of work together if you want to have a long-term career. And I think they do have a positive working atmosphere up at Hallis Hall because the coaches are doing their job. Ben Johnson is doing his job. He's creating that kind of that confidence inside that team room that's carrying on to the football field.
Guys, let's keep the calls going. Really good calls so far today. 312-332-3776. We also want to remind you that the holiday parody song contest is underway. We have just over 3 weeks to enter at espnparody.com. It's all presented by Surfside. Have you followed the holiday parody song?
Yes,
Do you
yes.
like it? Be honest.
First of all, I can't believe your prize package. It's sick. It's unbelievable. And I do love the parody song.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Let's get a Tom Thayer, Jeff Joniak one. It's brought to you by Surfside, and they have a prize pack, including that Arctic cooler. And then, as Thayer's saying, a trip to Vegas, courtesy of Circa Sports, a $5,000 Steinhoffel's gift card. This isn't a $50 gift card. This isn't a $500 gift card. It's a $5,000 gift card. It's full membership to Golf on NET and gift cards to Rogers and Hollins and Jewel Osco. Thank you to all of our partners for doing that.